Harvesting bee honey. Is honey something you enjoy eating? Really, who doesn't though? Every morning we gulp it down with a glass of water or sprinkle it over some pancakes. More importantly, it's good for our health, which is a huge bonus. But have you ever thought about where it comes from and how exactly is it harvested? Hey, what's up folks? It's great to have you back on Harvesting and Technique. We hope you're doing fine. The topic of discussion today is honey harvesting. First things first though, if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our future videos, then make sure you please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon while you're at it. So let's get started. If you want to learn how to harvest honey, we're here to help. We'll go everything you need to know how to complete this safely and successfully. Do you know when is the best time for honey harvesting? Honeybees are insane collectors. They are extremely busy, but they find some time to sleep. Honeybees will continue to produce honey as long as they have the necessary space and resources. Beekeepers take advantage of this hoarding behavior by constructing larger hives with more honey storage space. In this manner, the honeybees will produce enough for themselves as well as the beekeeper. The best time to harvest is determined by a variety of factors. If you want high-quality honey, you must wait until the bees have sufficiently processed it, i.e., when it is low in moisture. If you rush this step, you may end up with fermented honey. Waiting until 75% of the cells in the honeycomb are capped will ensure that moisture levels are low. Waiting for the blossoming plants to finish blooming is another critical factor. Waiting for the plants increases the honey crop because the bees have more time to collect nectar and produce honey. Harvesting later in the season ensures that the bees have produced more honey. This, however, is heavily dependent on your location. Due to cold weather, beekeepers in northern regions may have a relatively short season. Flowers and plants will stop blooming much earlier than in the south. Colder temperatures cause the honey to thicken and become more difficult to extract. You will also have to deal with honey robbers later in the season. When winter approaches and resources are scarce, bees will steal honey from nearby hives. When harvesting honey, it's critical that the extraction take place within 2 or 3 days of the bees being removed. This will keep wax moths and hive beetles away from unprotected combs. A large amount of equipment is required to safely extract honey. It is critical to protect yourself, your bees, and the hives. The use of the proper tools will ensure that the honeycombs are safely removed and that the honey is extracted without breaking the comb. First, let's discuss these types of equipment. Number 1. Extractor of honey. A honey extractor removes honey by using centrifugal force. It's a simple device made up of a drum or container and frame baskets. The honeycomb is inserted between the frames. The device will then spin them quickly, releasing the honey. Although not required, a good extractor is extremely useful for a beekeeper who produces a large amount of honey. The honey will be extracted while the comb remains intact and ready for reuse by the bees. Number 2. Smoker of bees. A bee smoker is one of the most important tools a beekeeper can own. The smoke confuses the bees, preventing them from stinging. It also calms the bees and prevents the guard bees from emitting alarm pheromones. The smoke does not harm the bees. In fact, it encourages them to consume honey, which soothes them further. The smoker burns a variety of fuels, including pine needles, hessian, twine, and rotten wood. Number 3. Bee costume. You want to be safe when harvesting honey, which means avoiding bee stings and venom. Honeybees can become quite aggressive when anyone approaches their hive, so wearing a bee suit is the best way to stay safe. Number 4. Brush for bees. When harvesting honeycomb, this brush is used to brush the bees off the honeycomb. Because the brush has soft bristles, it will not kill or harm the bees. It's critical to sweep the frames before inserting them into the extractor. Positioning the frame upside down is a good way to get all the bees out. You may notice a lot of bees coming out. It's critical to brush in the same direction you're holding the frame. Brushing in the opposite direction may cause bees to become stuck, break their legs, or die. Number 5. Knife and fork uncapping. An upcapping knife is a heated electrical knife used to easily remove the cap. The bees cap all honey cells to keep the honey safe. It's nearly impossible to extract honey from capped cells. Number 6. Tank uncapping. To collect wax cappings, an uncapping tank is used. Many beekeepers use it to process honey before putting it through an extractor. It's used to separate the honey from the wax. Number 7. Honey strainer. When honey is harvested, tiny pieces of wood, wax, or comb may end up in the honey. A honey strainer is an excellent way to ensure clean honey. It basically removes any impurities, leaving you with clear honey. Number 8. Bottles and jars. After you've extracted the honey, you'll need a place to keep it. Honey should be kept in an airtight container. With a tight seal, this could be a sterilized glass or food-grade plastic. Either of these will ensure that the honey is well preserved. Now let's talk about how to harvest honey. One of the best feelings in the world is when you get to harvest your first batch of honey. You've been nurturing and caring for your bees, and now it's time to see what the hive has produced. If you're new to honey harvesting, we've put together an easy-to-follow step-by-step guide. First, open the hive. After putting on your protective suit, approach the hive from behind. Puff your smoker around the hive while gently pressing the trigger. Remove the top of the hive and smoke the surface to encourage the bees to crawl deeper into the hive. Choose a frame to remove. Remember to look for closed cells, as these indicate honey. To remove the frame, you may need to use a small crowbar or an uncapping knife. They can be difficult to extract because bees will sometimes seal them with a type of bee glue called propolis. Step 2. Get rid of the bees. Place the frame at an angle and gently wipe away the bees with a bee brush. You can easily capture multiple frames at once. Once you've removed the necessary frames, you must remove them from the hive and the bees. Some beekeepers keep their hives in a small shed, while others keep them in their basements. Step 3. Uncap honey cells. Once inside, gently uncap the honey cells with your uncapping knife and fork. It is necessary to uncap the cells in order to extract the honey. Cap cells can be extracted, but it's difficult and time-consuming. Hold the frame vertically and scrape from bottom to top with the knife. After that, use the fork to remove any remaining cap cells. Step 4. Extract your honey. Fill your honey extractor with uncapped frames. Turn it on and wait if it's electrical. Turn the lever on your manual extractor to spin the frames. The honey will be spun quickly, and it'll fly out of the cells and into the extractor sides. The honey will then gradually drain into the spout. Step 5. Strain and gather your honey. The final step is to clean your honey of any impurities. The honey may contain small pieces of wood, wax, comb, or even bees. Separate the good honey from the bad with a honey strainer. Honey refractometers can also be used to determine the moisture content of the product. Once the honey's clean, take out your jars, fill them, and label them. To avoid contamination, make sure your jars are sterilized. Honey jars do not need to be sealed to keep them fresh, but a tight-fitting lid is recommended to keep hungry bugs out. One of the many pleasures of being a beekeeper is collecting honey. It's also the most financially and emotionally rewarding. However, if this is your first time, it can be quite intimidating. You'll quickly get the hang of it if you have the right knowledge. When handling the bees, remember that they are working extremely hard for you. Remember to always leave enough honey for the bees. So, I think that's going to do it for today's video, friends. We thank you so much for watching, and we certainly hope that you liked our video. If you did, please make sure you give us a like and share our video with all your friends and family and other intellectuals in your inner circle that would appreciate our video. Please also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll see even more of our incredible videos, and you can check out some other videos that have been specially selected just for you. If we can ask you one more favor, friend, please make sure you press the bell icon on your way out the door. That way you will always be notified immediately of our latest uploads to our channel, and you'll stay updated and informed with us. We appreciate you spending time out of your busy day to hang out with us today, and we'll look forward to doing it again sometime soon. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.